So I watched the new Netflix movie Amateur, and I will explain why he's crying towards the end of the movie, but it's a bit of a spoiler, so I'll save it for the end. I'll start with the premise, very simple premise. 14-year-old kid, very talented basketball player, and he gets recruited by this coach. Now, this is driving me crazy. I don't know how I want to say it. It sounds so stupid as I'm saying it. They have great basketball footage. I feel like that's not when the players, they're all playing basketball. It's really well done, but it's not so much about winning the big game at the end. It's not one of these kind of sports movies. It's more about the different pressures on this player, his weird, sometimes seems possessive relationship with his coach slash scout slash father figure. It seems like all those things are getting mixed into one. It's about trying to balance sports versus athletics, sports versus academics. And it's that classic issue of if you have a dream and you have a passion, seems like if you want to be the best at it, you got to just throw everything into that. And that's really great and romantic when it works out and you achieve your dream. But what about when you don't? What about when you fail? And then since you've thrown everything into that dream, you have no plan B to fall back on. And this movie drives home the idea that to get to the NBA, and talking about professional sports more generally, first of all, the odds, the probability of you getting there, it's so small. But not just that, once you get there, you have such a limited amount of time. For most people, you have this small window of time where you not only have to live your dream and make all this money, but also set yourself up and be smart and be proactive and set yourself up for the whole rest of your life, because the shelf life of you in your prime where you're actually able to utilize and monetize this skill is so small. And my favorite sports movie, Friday Night Lights, there's a great line where the father's talking to his son and he says, look, you got 1 year when you're in the small town in Texas, and you got this 1 year where you're playing for the state championship, and you got this 1 year to make yourself some memories, and these memories, that's what's going to carry you for the rest of your life. And I don't want you to miss it. You gotta make some memories in this year, and then you go live your life, and you get your job, and this is your one chance. And I love the characterization we get and the casting of Coach Gaines. Smooth talker in the suit, coming into this bad area, saying all the right things. This kid's parents, very protective and suspicious, but he says all the right things. That gives him a bit of the hard sell, saying, look, I'd love for you to think about it, but I'm on my way to this tournament, and there's another young boy who's ready to accept this offer, so I got to get an answer from you now. And throughout the whole film, you're always wondering, because he seems like he gets it. He's talking about helping achieve the dreams and the pop culture references. He seems pretty hip, but there's always that wonder that does he really have your best interests at heart? And when the chips are down, is he really gonna make the right decision for your future? I thought the actor that played Tehran did a really good job. Very likable, quiet protagonist. I thought he was perfect. Sometimes a bit immature, but I thought that was perfect because he's 14, so it's completely understandable. I thought the banter and the dialogue between these teammates, kind of the locker room talk, I thought it was good. They actually did a pretty good job capturing that, which can be tough. I love the inclusion of social media because that's totally a thing now. Athletes getting discovered more and more through their hoop tapes in this case, because it's basketball. So that was a really nice inclusion. And I love the different issues the movie tackles. So it looks at these high schools that recruit these athletically talented kids, and they say these schools, they don't have any incentive to actually educate these kids. They want them to get good grades, so they might artificially raise their GPA so they can get scholarships, go off to these good universities. That looks good on them. But as far as actually teaching them and having them actually have skills that if they go out after their career in athletics and try to get a job, there's no incentive for them to care about that. And when you look at these kids, these athletic kids, there's so many issues that go into play of where am I gonna go to college? Do you go to the big market where you have the most exposure, but you might be sitting on the bench the whole time, or do you go to a smaller school, but you're gonna start and you're gonna have the opportunity to show your skills, even if maybe no one's really watching because it's a smaller school. So there's so many issues at play, and then the fact that for so many of these kids, you're not able to make money all your time at college. You're only able to make money once you go pro after your college. There's so much incentive for these recruiters who come and they say, look, we'll give you a scholarship. Everyone will give you a scholarship, but we'll also give you a little money on the side. So there's such an incentive for these kids and these families, a lot of them from poor areas, who know they're not going to be making money their whole time at college. And you could get hurt at college and that's it. You may never even get to the pro level. So the incentive for taking these recruitment incentives under the table, it's so big. And I'll try to explain why I think he was crying towards the end. I think he was crying because how they wrap things up. So this is a spoiler. is he was going to forfeit playing at the college level, and he was going to go straight to playing professionally. He was going to do it at first overseas. Now, I think when he's watching these people play their pickup basketball game, he's seeing basketball as a hobby and something fun, something completely not commercialized, away from the money, away from it being a job. And he's realizing that at this very young moment in his life, only 14, he's forever giving up having that kind of relationship with basketball. He knows that he's taking the responsibility to support his whole family, and make basketball for him a career and a job, and it's the best thing for him. They walk through it and they realize that yes, it is the best decision, but you can't help but he feels that this pure, undiluted relationship with the game, as far as just being a source of joy, he's forever walking away from that. And basketball is maybe many years later, when he's very old and he's not a professional anymore, maybe he could have that relationship again. But he's really saying that now basketball is going to be my job, and there's a lot of good that comes on with that. He's going to make a lot of money and be able to support his family, but he's also giving up a kind of relationship with something he really loves.